Hi, I'm Mike Lyons with the Southwest Florida Real Estate Investment Association, uh, joined by the other director of the Southwest Florida Investment Association, Jeff Tamarill. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, we've got with us those that will be on our panel. There's a list here. We go. Reed Schweizer is here with us. Um, Noah, I see him back there, and then Mike and Tim. Again, a little bit of a group here for our in preparation for our meeting in 2 weeks. But welcome, guys. How are y'all?
Excellent. Doing good.
Great.
Good to have you. Well, I appreciate you. We appreciate you being willing to be a part of the panel, and then also taking time today to kind of go over what we'll be discussing. Then, if you guys just want to real quick maybe introduce yourselves, maybe name what company you're with, and then we'll circle back on a couple questions and go from there. Reed, you want to start us?
Sure. I'm Reed Schweizer with Estero Development Group, also Gulf Gateway Realty. Been doing land for a long time, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you. Mike and Tim, you want to go next?
Sure, I'm Michael LeBlanc. I'm a senior environmental manager with Northwestern Environmental. My background is environmental consulting, but previous to that, I was with Florida DEP for many years, and Lee County Port Authority, as well as Lee County Solid Waste.
And I'm Tim Swan. I'm one of the environmental managers here at Northwestern Environmental. My background is also with DEP, did permitting and compliance, enforcement, everything for multiple years, and then also environmental consulting.
Excellent. Excellent. Noah, go ahead.
All right. So my name is Noah Talvaro. My company's Multifamily Noah LLC, and broker associate with Steelbridge Realty. Over the last couple of years, I bought and sold over 100 pieces of land in Southwest Florida, and fortunate enough to have an amazing broker like Jeff Tamarill, who got me into land 5 years ago, and Reed Schweitzer as well, and Reed as well. They got me into it, and now I am, in addition to wholesaling land, I am on my third new construction in Lehigh Acres. So now I'm building on the land.
Oh, that's great, man. Well, thanks. Well, thanks everybody for being on the call. Jeff, you want to go ahead over maybe one of the questions we can discuss as a group?
Yeah, hold on. I just X'd out of that.
Well, I can help you out there as you pull it up. You know, one of the questions we wanted to discuss, and again, this might be more for Noah and Reed, is to kind of navigate the market here with wholesaling. You've got a lot of guys newer at the wholesaling coming in to want to wholesale land, and those that are really established already in doing so. What would you, how do you compete in the Florida market with these new guys coming in? What's the competition like, and how can someone who wants to get into it, what could they do to compete and be successful at
it? There's a ton of competition right now for new wholesalers. I mean, there's a lot more wholesalers today than there was 4, 5, 6 years ago. There's a lot of online classes I think people are taking. But the main thing about wholesaling is, I always look at it, is you need to have the land sold before you buy it, you know, or before you put it under contract. I mean, that's the main thing. You got to know who your buyers are, what they're willing to pay, and kind of what their parameters, or the new hot term in the industry is what their buy box is. So it really comes down to knowing what you can get for it before you put it under contract.
Similar to even homes and when you're
exact same concept.
That makes sense.
Well, but like I full disclosure, I between two entities and the current one, probably 450 pieces of land since 2020. And the vast majority of them, they don't know what the lots are worth. And that's the biggest thing, is they go just start. And I give them credit for having the courage to just start calling people and trying to make money. But I think I'd want to have a business model before I start trying to, call and make money. So many people don't know how to comp a lot. And then when we get into the due diligence side, I had one try and tell me that turtles don't mean anything in Cape Coral. So I'm like, well, you just obviously haven't done one of these. So, but that's a tough one. And that's the $1 million opportunity. $1 billion opportunity is affordable tortoise disposal. I think we just make a bunch of islands off the coast. and let them all live their best lives on the beach there would be probably highest and best. But yeah, I really see the biggest thing I see with the wholesalers and their biggest opportunity is actually getting deals. I mean, it's easy to get a lot under contract, and I crack up because I'll see somebody shopping me a deal and the same guy's in my database, and 6 months ago he was 10,000 over the market. Now he's under contract for 15,000 over the market. And the scary part is that just validated his fantasy that he signed a contract for that much. So, and it's really kind of tainting the pool that there's so many just ridiculous offers but they just tie it up and then, wake up and get really motivated and then just try and find it. Well, you go to Facebook groups and you say you have a lot, even though you don't have an address, and then then start pitching it. But I mean, Reed was right though. I mean, anytime I had a marketing campaign, I did a marketing campaign for a specific builder or buyer. So I knew exactly what they wanted. I knew exactly what they would buy, and I marketed exactly what they wanted. And then we even had our script set up to where it was either we knew we were in the range or we weren't, and then we knocked it out of the park. What do you see in Noah?
Well, it's for anybody that's coming in, definitely, as you mentioned, get an environment when you do get a lot under contract, do the inspections, right? The turtles and Lehigh Acres. Also hire an environmental inspector, and there's several of those. Wetlands is an issue, right? There's people selling wetlands, getting lots under contract that are on wetlands. So do that due diligence first. But I would definitely encourage others, because Southwest Florida, there's like in Lehigh Acres, I believe there's a little bit under 80,000 lots, and Cape Coral 40,000 lots, and new construction is booming. So definitely, if you want to get into wholesaling land, definitely get into it and connect with other folks like me, Jeff, for advice. And then lastly, like Jeff said, finding the end buyer. And the way I do it is just finding builders. And then finding builders is pretty easy. Just go to Lee County Permits, and then there you have a list of all the new construction permits that are pulled, and then there are the general contractors and their phone numbers. So most of the stuff I sell to are builders.
That's good info. Well, it kind of segues into the next. You talk about due diligence and knowing the land. Mike and Tim, you want to chime in on that? What the due diligence process we know is super important. What are some of the things that someone looking to either wholesale the land for somebody or acquire it or buy it as an investment? What do they need to be looking for? That's probably a loaded question, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to follow up on what Noah was saying is the importance of having a consultant in that process it can't be overstated. Wetland determinations are key because you want to see what you're dealing with on the property. That can obviously affect your timeline for permitting, as well as the costs associated with it, potential mitigation costs that are associated with that, as well as listed species surveys, whatever types of species might be on the property. Like Noah mentioned, in Lehigh, you're going to see gopher tortoises. In the Cape, you're going to see burrowing owls. You may see eagles in almost anywhere. And just to give you an idea, an eagle nest on a property has a 660-foot buffer around it that you can't develop. So
how many 60 foot?
660 feet around it.
660 feet. Wow.
Yeah, so you're talking about a quarter acre lot that basically limits anything you can do on it. So you want to know that up front, especially during your due diligence period. And then, like we're talking about with wetland determinations, it's not only the cost, it's the time frame involved with it, because you've got to get local, state, and federal permits for that process to impact wetlands. And that process right now is taking somewhere between estimate of 6 months to a year and a half to get those in place.
Now that's for all the above, or just for owls or eagles?
No, that would be for an environmental resource permit, which would allow you to impact wetlands on a property.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yes. If you're looking at a larger parcel and the determination, the good thing about us doing a determination for folks is that you may have an isolated parcel that has a little pocket of wetlands on it, but if you can limit or keep your development to the upland side of things, then you don't require that environmental resource permit, and it's going to make the process that much quicker too, let alone the cost.
Gotcha. No, that's really good information. You could really get stuck with buying a plot of land and be a year and a half before you could do anything with it. One, and then two, have issues. If you don't know, if you're buying out of state a property in the middle of Lehigh with no clue, you could have a real bad problem on your hands without knowing it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many clients we've gotten calls from that they've already purchased the property and then they get the wetland determination because the county is going to refer them to have wetland determination on it. You already own the property. What we find on there at that point is too late for you. And Tim can talk a little bit about mitigation costs because they're kind of staggering.
Yeah, the time is one thing, but then the cost. So if you do impact wetlands, just for example, forested freshwater credits now through a mitigation bank, they're going for $190,000
For an acre.
for 1 acre.
How 190?
Yeah. And they can adjust those prices, it's only going up.
And of course, those costs depend on the quality of the wetlands, how much impact you're going to. So, first of all, the state's not going to allow you to impact a full acre of wetlands. They're going to minimize that down to maybe a third of an acre that they would authorize. So that's going to bring the cost down. If the quality of the wetlands is not so good, it's filled with exotics and that sort of thing, that cost comes down a little bit there too. But like 190,000 for an acre is kind of, you need to know that up front during your due diligence period.
That's insane. Yeah, I had no idea it was that expensive. Yeah.
We're not even talking about saltwater forested because it jumps up to 345,000 per credit.
For saltwater?
Yeah, saltwater mangrove forest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Way to kill my dreams, guys. That's great.
And I mean, there's a lot more to the environmental side than that. And each area has its own little thing. Like in Charlotte County, scrub jays are a check.
Yep.
In
Absolutely.
Northport, scrub jays are basically, you're not building on the lot for the most part.
Correct.
It's Sarasota County is completely different with the same bird. And I mean, there's some cases where one block separates the difference between a lot being buildable and not. If it was on the Charlotte County side, I forget what the exact number is, but you literally just write a check to get a permit. And then, Lehigh, I see primarily is turtles is your biggest thing in Lehigh is turtles. Cape is owls, turtles, eagles, and the Cape.
Let me follow up on that, Jeff. So when we do a listed species survey, we're not only looking at animals, we're looking at protected plants as well. So that is part of the process. And just to give you an idea, for up to a 3-acre inspection for us, we charge our clients $500. I mean, how do you not take that $500 and use that to protect yourself from the liability of potential major costs as well as setbacks in time?
Yeah, I've had what's the one tree that's so expensive in Northport? That came up just before closing. There's one tree that you basically can't cut down up there.
Well, there's a few, and then there's a bunch of other plants as well, orchids and things like that are endangered.
Yeah. So yeah. This will be a fun meeting. It's a really hot topic. Everybody's doing it. It's actually a great way to make money.
So, are you talking about the longleaf pine?
Say again?
Are you talking about longleaf pine?
No, it's a tree.
The longleaf pine that's protected.
There's a different one up there too. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like $8,000 is what it was to mitigate it for the tree. Right. I mean, so we ended up retrading the lot a little bit and still got the deal done, but it was a little rough. Yeah.
Well, and you were talking about the tortoises out in Lehigh, and just to give you an idea, there are recipient sites that you can relocate those tortoises to, and they cost approximately for the whole process for the permit for the relocation and for the recipient site to house that tortoise, about $10,000 a tortoise.
Wow. Man, well, hey, we look forward to the meeting. Appreciate you guys being willing to be a part of it. Actually, Gulf Western Environmental is going to be sponsoring the meeting. We'll have more information prior to the presentation. Then they will join the panel to answer questions about all kinds of issues that can come up when you're buying land. You got to be careful. I mean, investing in real estate is fantastic and it's awesome and exciting. It's not exciting when you buy something you can do nothing with and you've got to spend a lot of money on to fix in the event you have the financial means to do so. But hey, we appreciate you guys. Appreciate your time today and look forward to our meeting. Again, it'll be on Wednesday, June 19th. And all are invited to attend, and we will put out your guys' contact information as well prior. So if people have questions, they can reach out to you. But guys, perfect. Appreciate your time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your time. I look forward to it.
Appreciate you guys.